Made in Hollywood.
The superhero adventure, The Marvels, from director Nia DaCosta and starring Brie Larson, is made in Hollywood.
Because I was a fan, it helped me to put trust into the Marvel system, even when I was like, oh my God, I would never do this, usually.
Made in Hollywood.
Also on today's show, we go behind the screen with director Alexander Payne for his latest movie, The Holdovers.
The premise for the film was suggested by a 1935 French movie, which I saw at a film festival about a dozen years ago.
Plus, we talk with director Sean Levy about the limited series All the Light We Cannot See. The dramatic thriller At the Gates features Miranda Otto, and we also look at the mystery drama series Black Cake. This week on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
A cosmic hero, a teen superfan, and an estranged astronaut are forced into an unintended partnership to save the universe in The Marvels featuring Brie Larson.
It gets pretty lonely out here. I need to regain the memories that the Kree took from me.
Auntie Carol!
What's been so great is that this is a team up that's been in the works for a very long time. What's wonderful is that the notion of a team up is so ingrained in the DNA of Marvel Comics that to put it on screen felt really natural.
I really wanted this to have a very specific tone because it's a very different kind of film. We have these three heroes together, and it was really important to me that it was funny.
They rounded us to investigate earthbound anomalies.
Monica, no!
How you feeling?
Like myself.
Now I can manipulate wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Ms. Marvel's one of my favorite characters from the comics, and I really loved meeting Monica Rambeau in WandaVision, so being able to bring them onto the big screen and do more with them and kind of throw them into a much bigger scenario than they'd been in the TV shows was really, really, really cool.
I'm very happy for you. Where's our daughter?
Yes, where is Kamala?
Who's Kamala?
There's a little bit of Ms. Marvel in a couple of places, but it's not the main throw. The main throw is really creating a theme for this particular film and this particular collaboration.
Have you ever wanted something so bad and it actually happened? But it's not as great as you imagined it.
Because I was a fan, it helped me to put trust into the Marvel system, even when I was like, oh my God, I would never do this, usually. And also just like from day to day, like to have people on wires and flying around and introduce characters that I really love from the comics, like that was so fun.
It's been awesome helping bring Mia's vision to life and creating the story together. To make the movie alongside someone who's as passionate with a fellow fan was a joy, and I can say the same about all of our crew members.
Well, Nia had a lot of specific ideas. She definitely wanted and knew an iconic theme, and if you talk to her, she'll tell you she doesn't regard this as a sequel. It's a new thing. It's its own thing.
Well, now, don't you tell me to stop. You stick around and make it what you want.
What is happening? We switch places whenever we use our powers.
This is one movie in a huge line of films that have come before and will come after, and television shows. And for the most part, we got to do what we wanted to do, but, you always are in a constant conversation with everyone, with Kevin, with, Miss Marvel show, the, things coming after, trying to figure out information from there. Like, have you figured out what you're doing with that yet? Because that will influence whether or not I have this in this scene, So it's so different, but it was also, a fun challenge.
Higher. Further. Faster.
A universally disliked instructor, an abandoned student, and a grieving cook form an unlikely holiday family in director Alexander Payne's The Holdovers.
Sir, I don't understand.
That's glaringly apparent.
I can't fail this class.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Mr. Coates. I truly believe that you can.
The premise for the film was suggested by a 1935 French movie, which I saw at a film festival about a dozen years ago. Theme is a more unconscious thing for me personally. I just think, well, I'm going to write a story and themes will come unconsciously just through the process of what feels right. But what would you say about theme?
It's funny. This Alexander advanced this premise, which I thought was a great kind of jumping off point.
I had you guys stuck with babysitting duty this year. How'd you manage that?
The theme is basically from stasis to freedom, you know, and both physically and emotionally. And I really only found that because I was studying his work and I was thinking about how to create a matrix for these characters to exist in and for them to have some degree of progress.
Do you think I want to be babysitting you? No, I was praying your mother would pick up the phone or your father would arrive in a helicopter or a flying saucer.
My father's dead.
Usually he'll send me the scripts, either the first draft or, yeah, almost always the first draft, I think. He'll usually send me, and then I'll read subsequent drafts. I'll give my 2 cents, my notes, my thoughts.
You don't tell a boy that's been left behind at Christmas that nobody wants him? What's wrong with you?
I don't know at what point I made the decision to try this little trick of making a period film not just be set in 1970, but look and feel like a movie made in 1970. A big part of me wishes I had been working then.
Alexander said today, when you think about it, we've always been making 70s movies, and that is kind of true.
Now, most of the kids dislike you, pretty much hate you. Teachers too. You know that, right?
I had the same experience on election years ago. It's hard to find teenagers to be in your movie if you want some veneer of reality about the movie. The answer is usually that those actors are out there, but it takes time to find them.
I knew Paul Giamatti would be great. I knew Divine would be great, but, you know, I didn't know Dom at all. But he delivered, so that's a surprise.
History is not simply the study of the past, it is an explanation of the present.
See, when you say it that way and throw in some pornography, it's a lot easier to understand.
We were casting at the 5 schools where I was actually going to be shooting, and there he was waiting for us in the drama department of Deerfield Academy. And it worked out really nicely for him in his first role to be a student at one of those academies, playing a student at one of those academies. It worked out just perfectly for him.
This is your Rubicon. Do not cross the Rubicon.
Coming up, we talk with director Sean Levy about the historical war drama, All the Light We Cannot See, and we also look at the mystery drama series, Black Cake. To find out where to watch any movie, check out MoviePhone.com. Find it, watch it.
It was such a combination of historic, epic visuals, but with almost lyrical intimacy.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on your home screen. A blind French girl and a teenage Nazi soldier form a kindred connection over the radio waves of World War II in the dramatic limited series, All the Light We Cannot See.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin my broadcast today, I have something to say.
In this case, the source material, both the book and Stephen's adaptation, it was such a combination of historic, epic visuals, but with almost lyrical intimacy. I try to listen to what the script is telling me it wants to be.
In this time of darkness, of invading cities, I'm trying to remember. Light lasts forever. Darkness lasts not even for 1 second.
I saw an opportunity to make something that doesn't look like anything I've made before, but that also said something thematically that I believe in, which is, in spite of the many ways the world can break our heart, that there is the critical importance of believing in the light we can't see.
I know that broadcasting could get me executed.
Times are dark once again, and it's so hard, but also so important to hold on to your humanity, to your empathy, regardless of the uniform they wear or the side of the world or conflict that they're on.
But I will not be silenced.
I hope you will tune in again tomorrow.
the real challenge of adapting something this good and this brilliant is to be able to confidently say that you know the characters well enough to have them do things they don't do in the book. So setting the characters free can only happen if you're sure you know who they are, what they would do in those circumstances.
All the people of the world have become evil at the same time.
Not all the people.
I felt going in that if I could find someone to play Marie who was herself low vision or blind, that it wouldn't just be the right way to approach it, it would be the better way to approach it, because it would be the authentic way to tell this story. And so we put out an open casting call and got well over 1,000 auditions. And one of them was from this graduate student, Fulbright scholar, young woman who had never acted or even auditioned before. But she had such a presence on screen. She had an intelligence and a fire in her that felt like a hero and felt like it could bring this hero to life.
The most important light is the light you cannot see.
Now available on your home screen. After the death of their mother, two estranged siblings begin to unravel the mysterious and complicated history of their family in the drama series Black Cake.
I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I had car stuff and then I couldn't find my keys. And
You don't get to just blow in here acting like you care all of a sudden.
I'm not acting. Ma is dead.
When I read it, I just immediately saw it. That's why I had to do it, because it just spoke to me, and I saw the series.
Your mother rarely spoke of her childhood.
She never spoke of it. And she always dodged our questions.
Well, in the end, she decided to talk.
This is an earth-shaking discovery by these adult siblings that you find out you've been living your life a certain way, and you all of a sudden find out that was a lie. I can't imagine it, and I wanted to make sure we capture that.
I had promised myself I would take all of this with me to my grave.
But I must confess, Eleanor is not my real name.
It's not something you just like learn. You're like, okay, let's listen to these recordings and figure it out. You're like, wait, I don't know if I can listen right now. And then you listen a little bit and you're like, I have to stop. It's too much and you don't know what it means.
In order to ensure my safety, someone would have to die.
For Benny, I absolutely did, because I was working on my first show, Women in the Movement, with Adrienne Warren. She was starring in it, and so I was hearing her, because I was literally hearing her on set every day and working with her. So I heard her as Benny, and I just thought it would be an amazing, a different kind of character that she hasn't played before.
With the stress of all these secrets weighing on her, she must have felt so alone.
They're both so good, and it's you don't have to check out. You're taking the journey with them. You believe that Covey is, Eleanor.
She has a story, our story. We just have to keep listening.
So that it gradually happened through these magical actors who just brought it, and they showed us things that we didn't even know existed, and they really brought these characters to life.
Love brings the light that will guide you out of your darkest moments.
As it was in the book, it's this marriage of cultures. Black Cake, the series, it's all of these characters and these cultures from all over the world, from multiple timelines, all coming together to tell the story, which all begins in Jamaica.
This is your story too.
To find out where to watch any movie, check out MoviePhone.com. Find it, watch it. Up next, we sit down with Miranda Otto for the mystery thriller At the Gates.
I loved Augie's script when I first read it. I just thought it was such an interesting examination of what's going on in America today.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
A Salvadoran housekeeper and her teenage son begin to question the true intentions of their affluent employers in the mystery thriller At the Gates, featuring Miranda Otto.
¿Aquí vive? Está bien grande esta casa.
Estate bien hoy.
Nico, thank you for helping today. I'm Marianne Barris.
Thanks for letting me come work here.
I loved Augie's script when I first read it. I just thought it was such an interesting examination of what's going on in America today.
The topics that it tackles, I think, is something that I had never seen done in this way before.
I wanted to humanize multiple characters involved in what is a polarizing topic.
Peter doesn't want anyone going into his office.
Yes, he won't be any trouble.
These two families in this situation together have to deal with each other as human beings.
Anna, why don't you and your son just go in the guest bedroom?
Anna and Nico are hiding from the police, and they are told to hide. And it creates their viewpoints over whether or not they're safe.
The officers that came to the gate work for immigration. If you were to try to leave, they're likely waiting for you out on the street. We have a space in the basement.
They come from such different backgrounds, and I think Lauren is a little bit fascinated with him.
They're both of the same generation, they're contemporaries, they're around the same age, but they obviously have opportunities that life will present to each one of them are very different.
¿Arreglaron todo esto en tan poco tiempo?
Sí, ¿y qué pasa?
Porque está todo armado como si ya nos estuvieran esperando.
I'm an immigrant myself, so I've been through a lot of the same adversities he's been through. I was brought here when I was 1. I work with my parents.
And Ezekiel is amazing. I'm so happy for him. This is an amazing feature debut for him, and such a perfect one.
Working with him, I think it was very easy to form that bond.
Hey, were you and your former housekeeper close?
She lived with us.
What happened?
My mom could be pretty demanding. She'd end up quitting.
He is as much protective of me as I am of him. He's had to probably walk me through a few things here in the States. There's just this very, very tight bond.
That comes from a kid that comes from a lot of trauma and a lot of challenges in life, and me coming from Watts. Yeah, I've been through a lot. This is just how a lot of kids go through a lot of situations like this, so I hope a lot of kids see that in the movie.
Do you want to get separated from your mom? We're committing a crime. This is a crime scene.
At first, they seem highly functional, but then once they're so contained, you start to realize that there are a lot of secrets.
Le he dado mucho a este país, pero a veces siento que he fallado.
Mom, they're back. Augie had a very clear image in his mind of what he wanted, that couldn't always be translated on a page.
I knew we wanted to misdirect the audience in order to make them active participants in solving the mystery of a movie. I think that allows the spectator to be engaged and allows them to talk about bigger topics and maybe themes in their head.
Prometo que sí, mamá.
Stay tuned, there's more coming up on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching Made in Hollywood, powered by MoviePhone. For more behind-the-screen content, check out MoviePhone.com.
Made in